Good morning, Leslie. We've got a big group staying at the bed and breakfast today, so I won't be able to do any of the housework. I'll need you to do all the cooking and cleaning for me today. Oh, as well as the laundry. It's been piling up in the laundry room for 3 days now. And while you're at it, I'll also need you to pick up some things from the store. Hey, Mom, I'm sorry you're having a rough day. I hate to have to turn you down like this, but I have my own job to do and I'm at the office right now, so I'm afraid I can't just up and leave on a moment's notice like this. Leslie, this is not the first time we've had this conversation. Do I need to remind you that as the wife of my oldest son, you have certain responsibilities? Our family operates the most exclusive bed and breakfast in the entire area, so don't go off thinking you can get away with prioritizing your job. I'm not sure why you put quotation marks around job like that. My job is just as real as anyone else's. That's not the point. Don't dodge the issue. Now, let me know when you leave the office. I'm going to send you a shopping list. Look, Mom, I understand that running a bed and breakfast as big as yours must be truly difficult work. Really, I do. I'm sure there are all sorts of things you do every day that I could never do. But again, that's your job and this is mine. Is it too much to ask for your understanding that I have my own work, my own career path? Yes, now get out of that silly little office and come home. You have housework to do. Even if I wanted to come right home, I can't. I'm not at the office. I'm out of town. What? What do you mean you can't come home? Where in the world are you? I'm going to be out of town on business for the next 3 days. How shameless can you be? You're my son's wife. The only job you need to be doing is helping me keep this bed and breakfast running. How else are you going to be able to take it over one day? And here we are in the middle of the busiest tourism season of the year, and you're off gallivanting elsewhere while I'm stuck here by myself. Are you out of your mind? Wait a second. Back up. You're saying I'm going to take over the bed and breakfast? Exactly. What are you so surprised about? You knew what you were getting into when you married my oldest son. One day he'll inherit the business side from my husband and you'll inherit the management side from me. This is the first I've ever heard about this. And besides, your husband has told me that he already has a candidate in mind for the next property manager. Yes, you! No, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, Mom. I've had more than enough backtalk from you today. In all honesty, I'd rather not be forced to entrust the operations of my beautiful bed and breakfast to someone like you who grew up in poverty, but my hands are tied. For whatever reason, my son chose you, so I'll just have to make do. In a few weeks, when the travel season ends, I'm going to be putting you through a hands-on training program to teach you the ropes, so make whatever arrangements you need for that. Mom, you are being ridiculous about this. I have a career of my own. Then quit. No way! I've worked way too hard to create what I have right now, and I'm not giving it up for you. I only allowed you to marry my son under the condition that you would be assisting me at the bed and breakfast, and now you're reneging on that assignment? What agreement? We never discussed anything like that. It's not a discussion, it's an order, and you're not going to change my mind. My decision is final. I'm sorry, but I don't have time for this right now. I've got a big day ahead of me, and I need to get everything ready tonight. I'll talk to you later, Mom. Hold it right there, Leslie. This conversation is not over. We need to discuss your training program, and I still have to send you that shopping list. Leslie, what is the meaning of this? Explain yourself immediately. What do you mean? We just had a big group arrive from a company in a neighboring town, but why are you with them? Oh, that? Well, it's my company, so... What? We're having a company vacation. Even if it's just one town over, it's still nice to get out and relax every once in a while. And there aren't very many facilities that can cater to groups as large as ours for a similar price range, so we decided to book the bed and breakfast for a night. Just when I thought you couldn't be any more shameless, and this is what you do? What? It seems that you've finally come around to see reason and accept your role as the next property manager. Huh? But I'm afraid you're far too late. I've been talking with my husband, and we've decided to give the position to Miriam, my other son's wife. Oh, I see. So Miriam accepted the position? Yes, and she just quit her job the other day. She was very willing to make all the necessary arrangements as soon as we brought up the possibility to her. And most importantly of all, her parents are fabulously wealthy. They're major real estate investors. They own a ton of apartment buildings in the area. With a family like that, she's absolutely the perfect candidate to take over the bed and breakfast for me. She's not the product of an impoverished single mother like some other women I know. Ah, it seems like you're under the impression that single mothers are all poor, which isn't the case, but let's put that aside for now. So, Miriam really agreed to take over the bed and breakfast then? Yes, we had the discussion just the other day. They'll need a bit of time to get ready to move over here, so I gave them a month. After that, she'll start the training program I was preparing for you. She really agreed to that? It's just that, I don't know. It really doesn't seem like Miriam would agree to become the next property manager from what I know of her. Oh, Leslie, you're so pathetic. After all your protesting, now you're coming to me and begging me to take you back? I'm neither crying nor begging. Did you really think an unsophisticated girl with a troubled upbringing like yourself could ever be a suitable property manager for a bed and breakfast as luxurious as this? What? All that silliness about bringing that group here for an employee vacation? You were really just trying to impress me with how skilled you were at luring in customers, weren't you? No, that's not the case at all. In any case, I've had enough. You're not welcome here any longer. Get out! You're kicking me out. Why? I'm here as a customer, you know. We paid in full for the cost of the stay in advance. And all the other guests are more than welcome to stay. However, you are another story. I tried so hard to be good to you despite your checkered past, and you threw it all in my face. Now that you see what you've lost, though, you're desperate to get back in my good graces. It's disgusting. Someone of your low stature doesn't deserve to stay here. It's just a vacation with my employees, that's all. Pack up your things and get off the premises immediately. I wasn't trying to impress you, I just wanted to relax. And you can relax where all the other poor people relax. Go to a dive bar or something. You're not deserving of such a high-class enterprise as this. All right then, I guess you don't want me as a customer. That's exactly right. I don't need any money from the likes of you. Oh, is that so? Then have it your way. I'm pulling my funding. Huh? Your husband also requested that I take on a position as consultant to assist in your bed and breakfast's restructuring. But since you don't want me here, I'll have to break the news to him that I won't be able to do that anymore. Wait a moment. You're pulling your funding? And what's this about a consultancy? Goodbye. Leslie, I had no idea. I never knew that our bed and breakfast was in such a precarious position. Well, it seems as though you finally had the talk with your husband, yes? Yes, that's right. Leslie, why didn't you tell me? You're the current CEO of the consulting firm founded by your grandfather. And Miriam, my second son's wife, she didn't quit her job and come and work with me. She quit her job to start her own company. I'm quite positive I told you what it was that I did for a living when we first met, so I guess you must have forgotten somewhere along the way. Oh well, that's not important right now. What else did you hear from your husband? Well, he also told me that the funding for our restructuring was coming from Miriam and your parents, and that your firm was going to be our consultant for coming up with a new sales strategy. Looks like you finally caught up then. I'm sure you've already realized this by yourself, but the employee vacation had two purposes. The first was, like I told you, just to take a few days off to relax, but the second was to get a clear picture of the bed and breakfast's current state. Unfortunately, since you decided to kick me out of the building before I even got settled into my room, we weren't able to do either of those things. Leslie, listen, can we just put this unfortunate little event behind us? Can you just forget it ever happened and go forward with providing us with funding in your consulting service like you'd planned? As the hotel's owner, that decision is up to your husband. Has he mentioned anything about it to you? Yes. He told me that if you were willing to forgive me for my behavior, utterly unbecoming of an adult woman and property manager, then he would continue with the plan. I see. Understood. Then you'll do it? I'm sorry, but this is a business matter, so I can't give you a firm answer right here on the spot. I'll need to meet with your husband in a business context and discuss things a bit further. My decision will depend on the results of that discussion. We'll agree to your terms, anything you want. So please, you have to help us. You have to save my beautiful bed and breakfast. Leslie, what's going on? Why am I being forced out of my position as property manager? I won't stand for this. Well, complaining about it to me won't do you any good. But you made my resignation a key condition for your agreement to provide us with funding and consulting services. That means it must have been your doing. You're responsible for this. Actually, the one who first brought up your resignation was your husband, not me. What? According to him, you've been far exceeding your authority as the property manager. You've been completely ignoring the business's official management policy and treating the establishment like it was your own plaything. That's ridiculous. I've never. You've also been discriminating in the way you treat guests, giving special treatment to wealthier guests or those with some sort of high status, executives, politicians, etc. It seems that you were blissfully unaware of the fact that your business was sliding closer and closer to bankruptcy every second. So you must also be unaware that it was precisely that prejudicial treatment of yours that caused you to lose regular customers at an incredible pace. My evaluation as a professional consultant is that you are the main reason for your bed and breakfast's financial predicament. But you don't even need to ask me. You can just see the kinds of reviews people are leaving about your establishment and you in particular on travel websites. Just about every negative review cites your ill treatment of them as the main reason. And given that reality, we naturally came to the conclusion that a new property manager would be a necessary aspect of any management strategy we could come up with. Without doing anything to address the key problem, no strategy would have a chance at success. This is completely ridiculous. I would never consent to any such agreement. I mean, really, is there anyone out there capable of running this place better than I can? Yes, actually. Oh, really? Who? Your husband has been discussing taking over your position with another person for quite some time now, and he decided this would be the perfect opportunity to finally make the switch. You mean her? That's right, your niece, Julia. For whatever reason, you've been furiously opposing giving her the position up until now, as I'm told. Perhaps you thought that having one of your daughters-in-law take the position would mean you could continue to run the place exactly as you want to? You don't understand. Being the property manager of a bed and breakfast is a massive responsibility. There are so many things I'll have to teach my successor about in order to keep this place running. Oh, but that Julia, she's far too strong-headed. She'll never listen to a word I say. Julia is actually quite an impressive woman. She majored in hospitality management at university, then spent 2 years in an apprenticeship at a major hotel chain. And she's also been working in your bed and breakfast for the last 5 years, so she should be well aware of how your establishment operates. Not to mention, she's been gradually taking on more and more responsibilities each year. She's basically been doing just about as much work as you have for the last 2 years. I've personally met her myself, and in my professional view, I'd say she would be the perfect candidate for the job. So you don't have anything to worry about, Mom. Your bed and breakfast will be in good hands with Julia at the helm. As a matter of fact, with her in charge, I bet it's going to do better than it has in years. Never! I'll never step aside! If Julia takes over, my husband is telling me that I'm going to be reduced to working as a common maid. Oh, that would be too much humiliation to bear. This is completely unacceptable. If you ask me, I'd say what's more unacceptable is having a property manager who treats customers better or worse based on their appearance or social status. And what's even more unacceptable than that is to insist on continuing to do things in the same exact way despite the devastating effect it's having on the business's bottom line. Stop talking like it's entirely my fault. It's not! Yes, you're right. I can't place 100% of the blame on you, and that was never my intent. However, we based all of our decisions on a review of customer feedback and hearings with individual employees. Your husband, as the owner, has the final say. So if you would like to register your complaints about his decision, you should take it up with him, and not me. As a consultant, it's not my responsibility, nor is it within my power to make decisions for a business. All I'm there for is to offer my professional opinions. But now, if I may be so bold as to offer a piece of personal advice, I understand that your husband has brought up the possibility of a divorce with you. Rather than be divorced and unemployed at your age, wouldn't you rather just take the offer of keeping you on as a maid? You might want to swallow your pride this time. No, I could never. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of work to do and I need to get back to it. I'll talk to you later. I don't understand. I didn't do anything wrong. This all happened within 2 months of me getting married to my husband. While all this was going on, my husband, who was also an employee of the bed and breakfast, was making some moves in the background. Doing a complete overhaul on their management strategy was actually his idea in the first place, and his mother came up in a lot of their discussions. His dad held out hope that she would come to see the error of her ways, but alas. A few days later, her husband divorced her. She turned down his offer of keeping her on as a maid, so she went back to her hometown to live with her relatives. She started looking for work in the hospitality industry, and she made sure to highlight her year of experience running her bed and breakfast. However, she was never quite able to come up with a convincing story when she was asked about why she quit her previous position, which created a lot of suspicion in her interviewers. She eventually removed that from her resume entirely and started applying for lower-level positions that she once thought were beneath her, but now they're all she can hope for.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.